Okay, she be gone every single night. Day and night on my mind, pushing you to vibe.
How's it going, everybody? This is Top Driver. Hope you're having another great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright folks, it's time for another edition of Haulin Games. In this series, I'll talk about all the pickups that I got throughout every month, and for this one, I'm going to be talking about all the games that I got for the month of August of 2022. So for the very last month of the summer, I managed to have 3 days on Mondays where I was able to go out and find some games. Usually, it would be 4 Mondays a month, which means it would be 2 opportunities. Here, I had 5, so that way, I had 3 opportunities to be able to go out and get some video games, and it all led to this collection right here. And once again, it's a rather interesting mix. The unfortunate thing this time around, however, is that I did not get any PlayStation 3 games, and I felt like that I needed a break from that for this month, in particular because, you know, I've gotten a whole lot of those lately. So it's just the PS1, 2, and 4 games for this month, but still, I found a lot of really good games here. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So we're going to go ahead and start out with our PlayStation 1 games, and we actually have quite a few racers in this collection, and the PS1 it really is no different. And the first one that I'm going to show you here is called Rallycross. Now, this was a game that was released back in 1996, and this is basically based off of rallycross racing, with rallycross across a whole bunch of circuits around the world. It's almost just like dirt, you know. Obviously, you're racing rally cars against a whole bunch of other drivers and trying to be the first one across the finish line. It's a pretty fun game, and I'm really looking forward to playing this one a little bit more. The next one I got is called Daredevil Derby 3D. This one's a little bit bizarre because it is a top-down racer, but a lot of really weird characters in this one. I played a little bit of it already. It's rather weird, but I am looking forward to playing this one a little bit more. And the other sports game that I got is called Cool Borders. Now, obviously, I have Cool Borders 2 and Cool Borders 3, but up until this point, I did not get the original Cool Borders, which of course was the very first game in this once popular PS1 snowboarding video game franchise, but it was there this month at Digital Press, so I was finally able to go ahead and get this one. Snowboarding games are not as popular now than they were back then and in the mid-2000s with SSX, which I hope to get some of those games soon, but still, I am looking forward to playing this, and hopefully this one's pretty good. Next couple of games I got here are war games. The first one is called Mass Destruction. In this one, you are riding a tank and you're basically trying to destroy as many of your opponents and enemies as you possibly can. Almost like World War II tanks, however, these ones are a little bit more mechanical in size, so happy to have this one. I'm looking forward to playing this one a little bit more. The next one I got is called Critical Death. You actually fight in the sea in this game. You actually play underwater where you ride these weird sea crafts and you fight against a whole bunch of weird enemies, you know, maybe some like alien-like creatures and all that stuff. I found this one to be a little weird in my opinion, but you know, obviously this is one of those games where you feel like that you have to get out on your own and try to find something new, and you know, this was one of those cases, so I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more of this, and hopefully it is pretty good. Alright, the next game that I'm going to talk about is a game that I've wanted to get for almost a year and a half. Pretty much right when I started video game collecting last year in April of 2021. This was a game that was right at the very top of PS1 games that I wanted to get. The moment I got the PlayStation 1, it is one of the most famous video games of all time, and it's the game that forever brought the stealth genre in the limelight in the video game franchise. I already have Metal Gear Solid 2, but I have not yet gotten the original. Folks, the wait is over. I finally have it, the Viva la Grande Metal Gear Solid. By far, one of the greatest games of all time. This game is a classic for the original PlayStation 1. Probably the granddaddy of great video games for the PlayStation video game consoles. I mean, it was so hard to find this game. I mean, literally, you just have to be lucky to be able to find this game anywhere in any of your video game stores. I mean, yes, you can find it on eBay, but they're usually slightly more expensive there than you would usually get when you were trying to find this game at a game store like Digital Press or J2 Games or something like that. So really, it was just me having to be lucky just so that way I can be able to find this game. But man, I was fortunately able to do it this time around. It was finally there, and I just decided that now is the time to pull the trigger on this one. It took a little bit longer for me to do it, but you know what? I finally have it. Cross it off my bucket list. I'm so happy that I finally have this game, and I'm so excited to finally get to play it. This has been a game I've wanted to have in my collection for such a long time, and I'm so looking forward to getting to play this one. I'm really going to enjoy playing Metal Gear Solid. Final two games that I got for this month. This one is based off the action TV show called Warco Winch Commando SAR. This was released back in 2000 and is based off of the TV character Warco Winch, and you just go after a whole bunch of bad guys and all of that stuff. It was a little bit of a weird game. I never even heard of the show before, so this is the first time I'm hearing about this, but I thought I'd go ahead and give this a try. The final game that I got for the PS1 this month is Family Feud. By far one of the most popular game shows in all of America. Obviously, we all know the one with Steve Harvey more today. Obviously, the one with Richard Dawson was popular as well. However, back when Louis Anderson was hosting this game show, this was when this video game came out for the game show back in 2000. And probably the only known Family Feud game show for the PlayStation 1 that I could find. I don't know if there's any more, but this is the only one. I love Family Feud, especially the one with Steve Harvey. That's the one where I really get my sick kicks at. But hey, I'm so happy to have Family Feud, another game show in my collection. I'm looking forward to getting to play this, maybe with a few friends along the way as well. That's it for the PlayStation 1 stuff, and now go ahead and move over to the PlayStation 2 games. Also a few racers that I have here, and also a couple more action games as well. So we're not going to waste any time in regards to that. We're going to go ahead and get to this one. The very first one that I have here is called Total Immersion Racing. This one is basically based off of professional sports car racing, you know, like Le Mans, World Endurance Championships, and all that stuff from back in the early to mid 2000s. So it's almost similar to Gran Turismo, however, more in the sports car endurance racing format. So I remember having this game when I was younger, but I felt like I'll go ahead and get this one again. The next one that I have is called Enthusia Professional Racing. This is basically Konami's attempt at a Gran Turismo clone from all the way back in 2003. It's almost very similar to Gran Turismo, you know, whole lot of cars, a pretty interesting story, and you know, I thought it was a rather decent attempt by Konami to try to replicate Gran Turismo. I mean, obviously nothing is going to beat Gran Turismo in regards to those games, but you know, there were some that were able to go up against them, and this was one of it. Next one I got is called Rumble Racing. This is actually the spiritual successor for NASCAR Rumble, which I have for the PlayStation 1. It's the very same mechanics, however, it's more regular everyday cars, like, you know, like the sports cars, SUVs, pickups, and big rigs and all that stuff. So rather awesome racing here in this game, and I'm really looking forward to getting to play this one. Hopefully it is as good as NASCAR Rumble. The other one that I got is Ford versus Chevy. I've actually already completed the whole entire game. I actually did this literally last week, and it's not as good of a racing game as I would have liked for it to be, but it was still rather fun, you know, getting to decide whether or not to race for a Ford manufacturer or the Chevrolet manufacturer at the fictional Westington Cup. It's definitely a lot of fun, and you know, obviously it's a good soundtrack as well, a lot of cool cars to get to race in, and I thought it was a pretty good game. Not the best this year, but it was one of those cool games that I got. So happy that I played this one. Pretty good, and I'm looking forward to playing it again sometime in the near future. By the way, in case you're wondering which team I'm on, Team Chevrolet all the way. That's my favorite car manufacturer. After that, we got a couple of movie-based games. The first one is called The Godfather, obviously one of the greatest movies of all time. They decided a few decades later to try to make a game out of this, and although it's not as good as the film, it definitely still brings a lot of action. Pretty nice that we have a game based off the movie here. I'm looking forward to getting to play this. I hope it's a lot of fun. And the last one for the PS2 is The Ant Bully. Based off the 2006 film, you're obviously playing as this kid that ends up getting shrunk into an ant-like size after you mess with a whole bunch of ants and you try to save their colony from the exterminator and all that stuff. It's basically the same storyline as it would be in the film. So another one of those movie games. I didn't really feel much interest in getting this at first, but as time went on, I felt like it would be time to go ahead and give this a shot and see how well it goes. So happy to have this one. I'm looking forward to getting to play this game. Alright, as I said before, no PlayStation 3 games for this month, unfortunately. I had to take a break from that for a month. However, I am going to resume that next month, which I will talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But right now, we're going to finish this off with our PlayStation 4 games. And I found some rather unique PlayStation 4 games as well, but also a couple games that I've also wanted to add into my collection for such a long time. I'm so excited to get those two games. I'll tell you what they are in just a little bit. But first off, the first one for the PlayStation 4 is called Gravel. This is basically almost like a clone to Dirt, obviously, like, you know, like Dirt 2 and Dirt 3 and Dirt Showdown, which I have in my collection. You're basically racing off-road with a whole bunch of off-road trucks, rally cars, trucks, and all that stuff. So very similar to that game. I actually am a fan of Dirt 2, happy to have that game, and so hopefully this game is almost similar to Dirt 2. I'm looking forward to getting to play this one. The next one is called Need for Speed Rivals. Unlike in previous Need for Speed games, in this one, you actually get to have two different kinds of storylines, and you can actually decide which one that you want to play in. You can either play as a street racer that's looking to be the best street racer in your city, or you can actually be a police officer that's trying to stop all the street racing that is taking place in your area. So I found it rather unique by EA to decide to try two different storylines that you get to choose from, and then go from there and try to see if you can complete the story mode in time. I mean, it's definitely a decent attempt. We don't have anything similar to this in recent Need for Speed games after this one, but it was definitely rather unique for a Need for Speed game during this time, and so I'm happy to have this one. I'm looking forward to playing both stories here in this game and seeing how well it goes. This could be one of the more underrated Need for Speed games. Hopefully not like Need for Speed Undercover, which I reviewed earlier this month, which again, that was a very bad game. Alright folks, if you all know me, I am a big time Call of Duty fan. It is my favorite video game franchise. I've played every single one of the games. However, up until now, the only two games in the Call of Duty franchise that I do not have for any of my consoles are the two most recent games that were released in 2020 and 2021. Not anymore though. This month, I finally have them. The first one, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which basically picks off from where it left off in the Black Ops franchise. I'm so happy to finally have this one. The other COD game that I got is Call of Duty Vanguard, which is the most recent game that was released in the Call of Duty franchise, a World War II based game just last year. These are basically the only two Call of Duty games that I had not yet gotten for any of my consoles. I mean, Black Ops, that's probably one of the greatest video game sub-franchises of all time. I can remember being a huge fan, especially of the first two Black Ops video games. I was very happy to have those two, and I've been a fan of those two games ever since. I played them almost every year and such. So obviously, I really hope that this is similar to the very first Black Ops game, because I know that there are a lot of similarities in regards to this one, and also a lot of similarities in regards to Black Ops 2, in which you basically get to decide where the story goes from there. So I'm very excited about that. And Call of Duty Vanguard obviously is very similar to Call of Duty World War II, which was released back in 2017. So obviously it is a World War II based shooter, which was where the roots of Call of Duty were originally from. So obviously I am excited about that. I love World War II shooters, and so I'm definitely looking forward to getting a kick out of this one. And with that, I officially now have every single game in the Call of Duty franchise in my collection now. From Call of Duty Finest Hour, the first console game we released, all the way now to these two. I'm so excited to finally have the whole collection again, and when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 comes out in October, I will definitely be getting that one as well to add to my collection. So I'm very excited about that, very excited to finally have the whole collection, and I'm looking forward to getting to play both of these games within the near future. Alright, the final two games for the summer, I got Metro Exodus. This is actually the sequel to Metro Last Light, which I had gotten in one of the previous Haulin Games collections. So I believe this is where it picks off from Last Light. So I don't really know too much about this one. However, I do hope that it is pretty good. So looking forward to getting to play this one. And the final one that I got for this month is called Life is Strange. This is another game that I saw a gameplay of online on YouTube, and I felt like once I saw it at Digital Press, I felt like that it would be a good time to go ahead and get this one. This is actually based off of 5 to 6 episodes, in which is another story-based game where you decide exactly what happens. You decide what to say to your certain characters, along with a whole bunch of activities in regard to what you do and how it can affect the storyline as a whole. So this is basically another decision-based game that you're playing right here. I've heard a lot of good things about Life is Strange. As I said before, I saw a lot of gameplay of this on YouTube, so I definitely think this is a pretty good one. And I felt like that, although I wasn't interested in getting it at first, the more I thought about it, and when I did see this game at Digital Press, I felt like it brought me back to those days when I first saw a gameplay of it a few years ago. And I felt like I decided, you know what? I felt like now would be the time to go ahead and get this one. So here we go. Life is Strange is in my collection, and I'm looking forward to playing this one and hopefully getting a pretty good ending out of this one. There you go. That's going to do it for all the games that I got for August of 2022, the very last month of video game collecting this summer. I got 3 huge pickups that I got in this collection, which is a lot of mixture of good ones as well and weird ones too. I'm so excited to get the most recent Call of Duty games and Metal Gear Solid. Those two have been near the top of my must-gets for quite some time, so I'm happy to finally have that. And next month, in fact, next week actually, I got another PTO week, so it's going to be another video game week-long extravaganza hunt. So So I'm looking forward to adding even more in my collection next month in September as we head into the fall. I mean, video game collections continuing to grow, and next week I can only grow them even bigger. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's vlogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for another midweek upload. I hope you're all having another great day. As always, I hope to see all of you again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.